What up, you filthy animals? It's Bodega Cat. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Last Slice podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can stalk us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also on our Twitter at the Last Slice podcast with 2 E's.
Warning. This show contains content that might make you laugh. If you're offended, them boys want you to know that they're sorry. Hell, who am I kidding? Them boys don't care about nothing. Enjoy the show, folks.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another fun-filled episode of the Last Slice podcast. It's your boy, Bodega Cat. As always, Mr. Jimbo the Kid.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
And the NSA over there. Trill boy.
Yo, what's going on, internets?
This dude. This dude.
What's going on?
This dude.
What's happening?
You don't know? You found anybody's location recently?
No.
You been stalking me a bit? Seeing where I'm at?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
My job is done with that one.
Thanks to anybody who tuned into our live show. It was a couple of days ago. We did 990 WBOB live.
Yes.
Had a good turnout. Had some friends and family told me they really enjoyed us on there.
Yeah, that episode will be up, so if anybody missed out, you can watch it. It will be up by the time this airs, so you can definitely catch that on our YouTube channel at the Last Slice Podcast.
And you can watch me get zit.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous.
The FBI got Trill.
And
right in the middle
and you were talking too.
of a meaty conversation.
A very meaty conversation.
Meaty.
And literally, bam, they pulled the power on me. Pull the plug.
There was someone who pulled the plug on you. There was a specific person for a reason why they pulled you.
I'm so mad.
I have a feeling that somebody downstairs literally was listening into your conversation.
They were like, he's going that route?
And they had a cape. There you go. Goodbye.
Yank.
I'll
He's
see
done.
ya.
He's done.
I'll see you.
Cancel.
He's done.
Like a cancel
He's
culture.
done.
You're like, he's out.
He's out. He's
But
done.
that was a good episode. That we had a lot of good topics.
Yeah.
We specifically talking about one topic, but that episode will be up on the page, on the YouTube page.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
that was a good time. Good time.
Hashtag bring back thick Demi Lovato.
This dude. That topic still.
That's still a miss right now, boys. This week, everybody's talking about Demi Lovato. Can't call them aliens anymore. Gotta call them extraterrestrials.
I don't know. You is out.
Can't.
What?
I've watched maybe 3 episodes of you,
Yeah.
and I enjoy it. I think it's
Oh, you.
I'm deep.
you're deep right now?
I'm episode
Oh,
6 or 7
it's
right
wild.
now.
I haven't
It's
hit
the
it.
third. I need to.
Don't
I'll
say
wait till
nothing.
next week because I'm gonna finish
don't
it.
say nothing. Nothing.
All I gotta say-
You is good, bro.
Nothing.
All I gotta say is they took a turn.
No.
Oh, yeah?
They
Don't
took
say
a turn,
nothing.
bro. They took a turn.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you was really good. The third episode, I'm like, oh, the first episode, I'm like, oh, look at this shit.
Don't say nothing.
And
Crazy.
yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable show. I also watched Midnight Mass. I don't know if anybody's watched
I didn't finish
that.
it yet. It's
It's
slow.
all right.
It's
Very slow in the beginning. I think the whole thing
Yeah.
is a little bit slow. It's more of a like a M. Night Shyamalan feel, but it drags a little bit too much.
Okay.
I can understand where they were trying to go with it. The ending's all right. I watched it through because I was like, "What? How is this going to play out, and what's
Right.
going to happen?"
Like, what's
the
going
ending
on?
was all right. It's
Yeah.
an all right show. It's not. They could have done it a little bit
Which
better.
one is this again?
The Midnight Mass on Netflix?
The one that I showed you?
Did you? I don't know. Did you watch it?
The animated thing?
No.
Oh, no,
It's a-
that's
it's a-
Midnight Gospel.
Yeah, no. Midnight Mass is a show about religion-ish,
Okay.
right?
Who's in it?
Nobody really notable except the priest that plays.
There ain't nobody in it.
Monsignor Pruitt, and there is another guy, the main character.
It's very strange. I'm only like episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know any of these actors really.
Yeah.
There was a show on HBO Max called The Outsiders or The Outsider. About the town and. Yeah, can you look it up? Because I don't know if that's the actual name.
So let me
The
ask you-
Outsider.
The Outsider, which is actually a good show.
So let me
so
ask
it's got
you-
that feel.
This
to
is
it.
about vampires, right? Because someone told me it's about vampires, and that's the feeling I was getting.
Ish. I don't know what they were trying to go for, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It looks like it is a vampire, but I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep watching.
Yeah,
I'll
I
give
think
it
it
a
is
chance.
vampires because
I'll give it a
they
chance.
put their arm under the sun into the sunlight and they burn.
okay.
It is that, but they try to incorporate religion to it, to make it seem like it's the angel. It's like an angel. It's you got to watch it. It's all right.
What is this? Preacher?
Oh, Preacher's great.
It sounds similar to that.
Sounds similar to Preacher.
Yeah.
I saw Halloween Kills.
How was that?
I did not like it.
No.
Did not like it. Don't
What is
smile at
that?
me.
The 20th episode or the 20th movie?
I don't even
so
know.
far?
So this Halloween was a direct sequel to the last one that came out. So it was kind of like I watched it and I was like, oh, all right, I remember some of these things, But that one came out, I think, in 2018 was the one before this one.
The sequel.
It was
the new
like
sequel.
Yeah, it was like in 2018. It was Halloween and then Halloween Kills. And I'm gonna do a spoiler for everyone. There's a third one called Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
They've already confirmed.
they announced that once the first one came out.
The killings were great. Apparently, it's the most killings on screen in any horror film ever. So the killings were great. The the action was great. It's just the story. We're waiting. Like, hopefully, the next one is the last one.
So this one was just in the middle of the whole story or whatever, and just a lot of killing and stuff like that.
Which, in my opinion, I never knew Michael Myers got rebooted. I thought every movie was just like, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Like,
Oh no, this is so the whole Halloween series. It's all different branches of different. I want to say like different cinematic universes or
Right.
whatever,
right.
and there's different takes on it and stuff. So this new one really retcons everything after the original Halloween movie. So this is like a whole new trilogy.
Yeah.
So the second one that just came out that you just saw, and then you have the third one, the conclusion of this trilogy
Right.
with these
right.
three movies.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I'll watch it on Peacock. Don't go to the theater to see it.
Oh, Peacock?
Yeah, watch it on Peacock. It was kind of a waste of money.
The waste of an A-list movie?
Yeah, waste of my AMC A-list. Nah, not about it.
I'm surprised. There's no other horror movies coming out in theaters?
No.
Or anything?
The next thing comes out in February. I forgot what I saw. It's coming out in February. It was a random time. Oh, you know what comes out next month? The Resident Evil thing, Raccoon City, which that looks like a CGI mess.
And this girl's not in it
No, she's not in it.
for the first time.
Mila Djokovic or something like that.
Yeah.
Mia Djokovic.
It's crazy. This is the first time she's not in a Resident Evil movie.
She's so hot.
So
She's so hot. She could slay my zombie any day.
She was so hot in Fifth Element, and she didn't even talk.
oh my god.
Coben Dallas Multipass. Multipass.
Multi-pass.
Bada boom.
But yeah, it's crazy. There's no other Halloween horror movies coming out this month.
No, there was nothing dropped this year. It was really upsetting.
There's no new Insidious or The Conjuring.
The Conjuring came out already.
The other one, right?
Yeah.
I think
The
it's
devil made me do it. Yeah, that one was like abysmal.
Oh. Damn, that's weird.
Yeah, for an October release, like just for Halloween Kills to come out. Oh, you know why? Because the new stupid Chucky is on TV.
The series.
Did you watch that first episode? Horrible.
Supposedly he's based here.
Yeah, Chucky's based.
I am not going to watch it.
Now we can get killed.
And I'm not going to watch it because, like I told you guys, I do not fuck with anything that's below the waist in a horror movie.
So he's
and if he's based here,
it's in like the whole series.
Can we stop saying that, base? Because I have to edit this. These guys are just willingly being like, "Yeah, this is where we're right
here.
We're
he's
here."
in the. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I watched the first episode and like you could really tell they're really.
What's it on?
USA, I believe.
How are you gonna have Chucky on USA?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Check the details on that for me. But like the first episode, it's kind of like there's no intro, there's no origin story. It's just Chucky's here. He's here. This kid buys Chucky from a garage sale, and he's here. You know.
No. He's on Sci-Fi.
Right down the block.
Sci-Fi. Doable.
You better watch.
It's on Sci-Fi, but I think USA has it apparently also.
It's doable.
So you better check.
But this girl's still in it.
Oh, the Bride of Chucky, Tiffany. Yeah, Jennifer Tilly's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's later on. She hasn't come up yet. And the first episode is just really, you could tell they 2021 this series up, like they really jacked it up with the whole, let's be politically correct and let's talk about bullying and let's talk about cyberbullying and let's talk about being gay and like I don't care about that.
This is not a continuation of that movie we saw in theaters?
I don't think so.
So speaking of like woke and
I don't want that in my movies.
Yeah. So speaking of like woke culture, cancel culture, and all this stuff, right? So we did the whole episode about Dave Chappelle.
Right.
That was the last episode, and if you haven't watched it, it's Dave Chappelle, The Human Experience. That's one of our episodes, and we specifically talk about the stand-up that he did. So not to go back into that, but there might be a tipping point right now with Dave Chappelle and Netflix. So Netflix, they had a lot of outrage, obviously, as you can tell, with the trans community and the LGBTQ. So they were trying to tell Netflix, you need to get rid of him and take down the special. And Netflix said no. And they sided with Dave Chappelle. So we might be at a tipping point where people can literally be like, enough is enough.
Right. Now, didn't something happen with the trans members of Netflix?
They quit.
They quit on their own?
I believe that they quit. They walked out.
I'm not sure if they quit or if...
Oh, they left Netflix?
I think they left.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. They quit. And Netflix was kind of just like, why? Just because of we're supporting.
So we might be seeing the horizon a little bit, just based off of them saying no. Like we're taking his. We're not taking his side. We're open platform. You can have your shows, your movies. We'll incorporate you as well. But at the same time, you can't just. What are we gonna do? Get rid of our biggest comedian because you're offended?
If you don't like it, don't watch.
Yeah. So like to your point with this whole woke thing, we might see a little bit of a turn, just a little. And Dave Chappelle is the perfect person to be the spearhead of this middle finger movement.
Oh,
that's not happening in comics.
No, though. DC Comics, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring that up for me. DC Comics just said somebody is bisexual.
Oh boy, yeah.
You know who it is.
Superman, yeah.
Superman's bisexual, apparently. Well,
his son.
His son. It's not actual Superman.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys think about? What do you think? Because I actually had a conversation about this with one of my coworkers, and I don't want to sound too harsh about the topic because it doesn't. I tend to sound a little bit conservative with my views, but right. I'm not. Listen, hey, if you're bisexual, homosexual, trans, I have no issues with that. I really support people who want to live their life and be happy, because that's the whole point of living life. So what do you guys really think about Superman's son being bisexual.
As this guy said, Dean Cain says DC Comics.
Yeah, what are the old Supermans?
They're bandwagoning. That's all it is. DC is bandwagoning. They want to be relevant in the world today, and they want to be popular and hip and new. So, my thing is, personally, when it comes to my media, right? Comics, video games, movies, TV shows, music, everything, books, leave sexuality and leave personal preference and leave all that out of it. I don't need that in my media, right? Especially for children in general, right? I don't need Nickelodeon as they did previously. They did they had like a trans day or something like that, right?
Did they?
Yeah, Nickelodeon did like a gay pride parade on the actual, they had a cartoon do it on the actual show, and they had a drag queen hosting it, and it was a cartoon on Nickelodeon. And I was like, kids don't need to see this. Like Nickelodeon's age, what's age group for Nickelodeon? Like what? 8 and under, maybe? And then for like SpongeBob, it's older.
Yeah, I would say it would go up to like 12 or something.
Right.
Like
that. People don't need to be exposed to this. I understand it is a part of life. I understand that growing up as an adult, you're going to see this, you're going to realize that, and you accept it. But you don't need to throw it at kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's some kid right now, 8 years old or younger, or even a little bit older, who went and bought that DC comic book and is going to see his favorite superhero, right, Superman's son, kissing another man. How are you going to alter and change this child's life and way of living?
And his perspective of
and
life.
His perspective.
And he doesn't know, and he or she really are not at an age where they know what they're doing.
Right. How are you going to change some child's perspective by showing them a comic book, fictional, drawn, animated characters, a comic book to a child? How are you going to have that in a book?
Yeah. What do you think?
Me, like, my thing is like, I don't have anything against like that group or anything like that, but like I just don't like the companies that are just like using it as like a propaganda or a selling.
It's a marketing tool.
It's a crutch.
You know, and jamming it down people's throats, you know, like pushing it into the forefront and literally just jamming it down people's throats, bashing in their heads, like just trying to have it out there, out in the forefront and stuff like that. Like, that's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
And especially like with the Democratic Party and all that, they do that all day long and whatnot, just trying to like use that as like a weapon or whatever, and just trying to jam it down people's throats, this and that. Like, it's just, it's like, you could do it like the way Marvel does it is fine. Like,
it's subtle.
It's subtle.
It's subtle.
It's subtle. Like, it'll be in the comic book, but it's not on the front cover or anything like that. Like, they're not making it like the spotlight of the story and stuff like that. It's different the way Marvel does it. They kind of like do it like naturally and stuff. But like all these other companies that just like, oh, let's bandwagon. Let's get onto
let's make this character trans. Let's make this character gay. Like, let's just keep changing things.
So here's to try to relate to DC doing what they're doing with Superman's son as being bisexual.
But hold on, before you start, why is this a shock to people? Because Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have had a thing years, right? Probably since we were kids.
Well, there is a lot of homophobia, though, as well. And that's going to stir up a lot of where men don't like that at all, right? So, because we're not homophobic, but we're saying you're forcing kids to watch these things. You have to separate it. There are a lot of people who hate gay people,
right?
And trans people too as well. So that could be a huge force of why people are outraged.
And the thing that I don't like about like the companies, they're like changing characters that we've grown up with.
Yes. Okay.
With
so
Marvel,
that's what I was gonna.
They create new characters for this new generation.
That's where I was gonna go with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna go with.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example. I read and I've heard rumors that 007, they might be changing that character to gay. Right? Now, let's look at what 007 really is. 007 is a straight male, right?
Playboy.
Back in the... back in the 50s and 60s that got women, gorgeous women,
for his job and not for his job.
yes,
Right.
that shot, he was shooting guns, had all access to different type of spy weapons, beautiful cars, and was a good, handsome looking man. So you are looking up to this figure like, wow, this is what it is to be a male, to be a man. And I think that's what half the outrage is as well, is that us straight men don't have anything anymore. Because if you take a character like Superman, even though that it's his son, not Clark Kent, but even though that they turned him bisexual, it's a straight male character. Right, that kids would look up to. And I can understand that they want to incorporate any type of man into that character, which is okay.
Yeah.
But you can't just change characters with their, you understand what I'm saying? You can't just change it. Just create a different character for their sexuality. I think nobody would have a problem with that or an issue with that if they were just incorporate or just develop a new, but like 007. When you looked at that as a kid, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. Like, you look up to, like, if you're a straight male, you'd be like, oh, that guy's badass. That's pretty cool. Not saying that we will think lesser of someone who is gay in that position, but create a different character. I think that right now is that all this stuff is happening why we are very hesitant about all this is because we don't want the characters changed, like you said. We don't want to feel forced.
Right.
We don't want to be like, this is some woke shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then
Because you're taking away from the actual meaning or the actual decision of why you're putting these characters. Just
it
be
turns you off.
subtle about it. Just hey, have a character come out of nowhere and
Trill.
they're gay, bisexual, trans.
Wasn't Deadpool gay at one point? Or did he have like a gay
No, they
relationship with somebody?
I think they made him like pansexual, I think.
Yeah. But didn't he have like sex with another man in the comic
I have no clue.
Or
I don't
another
remember.
character?
I just know like they kind of like hinted that he was like pansexual. He just likes everyone.
I think I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there was a comic series or something like that where he did have feelings for another man, and it was like another character in the comic. And like Trill was saying, they didn't change Deadpool, right? They just
Let him be.
like, hey, he does this now.
Let him
Okay,
exist.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You didn't change him who he was, you know.
Here's another thing. My thing is that when you do these type of things and you make it so clear as to the trajectory you're trying to go for, and you're trying to change the minds of young kids, because we're adults, but these kids will be watching these things, and kids shouldn't be watching that. When we were growing up, we didn't see anything like that.
We knew about it.
We knew about it, but it wasn't in our face through TV, television, movies, film, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Kids shouldn't be subjected to this.
You know
to
how confusing it must be when a kid today sees Lil Nas X pregnant. You know how confusing that is? As grown men, we look at it, we laugh, we say, "Oh, good for him. That's funny." You know, like, good for him. He's doing it, right? He's making it big. He's using his platform. Proud of him, right? But now show that same image of him pregnant to a kid. That kid isn't going to interpret what we interpret. We're like, yeah, good for him. Good job, buddy. Keep it going. Raise your platform. But as a kid, you're going to be confused as hell.
Yeah, and you're confusing kids, and kids are gonna be growing up and not knowing if they are gay, trans,
right,
or bisexual,
right,
when they're straight. And this is a real slippery slope where being straight is they're not. Nobody's gonna have an idea. Everybody's gonna be confused in the future. In 20, 30 years, with all this stuff, people, yes, it. See, that's why we might be a little bit shielded because we're in the tri-state area. We are in New York City, which is a liberal area to be in.
Right.
So it's acceptable because you can go down into the city right now and see two gay couples walking hand in hand, kissing, and that's
normal.
And it's normal for us.
Normal.
It's normal, but
life.
It's not normal
for the rest of the world and the rest of this country.
Exactly. So I understand why they are doing it, but at the same time, you're forcing kids to see these things and not have them grow up and make these decisions themselves when they're older and of age and they understand what is what. Right. Do I don't know, man, because I feel like it's a tough topic to cover because then you'll be labeled as a homophobe, transphobic, but when I know I'm not.
No, we're not.
I'll speak for myself. No. I am not. But I can understand why people they're very touchy-feely about the subject, and they don't want to cover it because it's a tough subject to cover. But we were lucky to be diverse in every aspect of culture, different relationships. So we see it and we're like, oh, this is why gays couldn't get married in the beginning, you know, like so.
Exactly.
But it is a tough topic to cover. And this is the thing, we as straight males and straight women have to really start considering what's going on here because the media, especially Hollywood, the news, any type of media, has a huge influence on young minds. So in the future, in 20, 30 years, we might possibly run into a little bit of a rough patch that people will not be straight, and we are here to produce children, to literally, you know,
it's true.
Reproduce.
Population decrease.
Thanks a lot, Bill Gates. No, that was a joke. That was a joke. Of course, it was a serious topic. I gotta make a joke, but you guys understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Is we have to let kids grow up and mold their own minds themselves because if not, they're gonna be so confused and they're not gonna know what they really want.
Mm-hmm. You know what? God bless the city of New York because we were all exposed to this very young, right? And this was explained to us and all shown to us. And now I realize what you said is very true. Go down to like Nebraska, right? There's definitely people out there who aren't as exposed as we are. So that kid's going to buy that comic and be like, oh, whereas if we bought the comic and be like, oh, cool. It's normal. Mm-hmm. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know? So I totally understand now what you're saying about that, but it just sucks. I wish people had the same mindset as us. I wish people, you know, grew up in the New York City tri-state area.
We're privileged, man. We really are.
And understand that, like, this is fine. We're used to this.
And
this
we
is
coexist
normal.
with each other.
Yeah. Yep. There's no difference.
I have gay friends, and they are the fucking best people, man. The best people.
This is normal.
Yeah.
But now I understand, like I said, Wyoming, right? Let's say Wyoming, middle of nowhere of America, these places that have low populations, right? Now you put it in the media and expose those people to it, their minds are going to explode.
A lot of people have some disdain with this country because the system's not perfect. And we all know this. We all know that our country is not perfect. So when people are trying to cancel Dave Chappelle, which is huge for us because we do label ourselves as a comedy podcast, and when they're trying to go to the person who's at the top, the apex predator of his art, they're trying to go after him, right? Mm-hmm. If you were to go to Afghanistan and literally try to be a trans person or be gay, they will kill you.
Yep.
So now you have to understand this. In this country, we have the ability to talk about these things. Mm-hmm. In other countries, you cannot. Mm-hmm. They will literally kill you.
Lock you up.
Which is very sad.
Stone you.
But at the same time, we also have to count our blessings that we are able to talk about these situations. Because that is crucial. That is crucial. So by you trying to cancel someone is really not doing anything.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like... You know, like it's like, oh well, you don't believe you're trans, like that. It's great because when Dave Chappelle came out with the Chappelle Show, he made a lot of black, very stereotypical stuff. Mm-hmm. That was a little bit excessive,
a little bit edgy,
and not one person tried to cancel him for it.
Nope.
right?
Nope.
It was funny.
Yeah.
All right, it was funny. They didn't cancel him. So he proved his point that these things are okay, but when I attack a certain type of movement,
Yep.
you want to cancel me type of thing. So it's like, hey, we live in a great country, man. And that's the point I was going to go to.
You're absolutely right. I'm like, Dave Chappelle made fun of Black, Asian, Hispanic,
Everybody.
Everyone.
like everyone, right? even Islamic, Muslim. He did everybody.
Goodbye fried rice, hello fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come
He
on,
did
bro.
everybody.
Everybody.
But as soon as he touched the LGBTQ community, he's out.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's that fair? How's
Not even that.
How's that
Clayton
inclusive?
Bixby.
Yeah, Clayton Bigsby.
Yep.
Clayton Bixby, if you guys have never seen the Chappelle Show, which I don't want to know you, but go and look up Clayton Bixby. It's a character
man.
that Dave Chappelle portrayed as a black man who's blind who thought he was in the KKK.
Who thought he was a
it's
white
the
supremacist.
greatest. It's the greatest skit in Chappelle Show
Awesome.
history, and nobody wanted to cancel him for that,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
He got away with a lot of that one
A
too.
lot.
A lot.
He did a lot of
Nobody
stuff.
wanted to
and
cancel
everyone
him
was
for
still
that.
tuned in. No one complained or anything like that. Like, because I don't know.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's just
you get what?
crazy. It's
Did you
just
guys get what I'm saying?
mind-boggling.
Is that these people want to just oust him and get rid of him? But when this show was on, nobody said anything. It was acceptable because but comedians tell the truth in a different way,
Yeah.
right? They talk about topics that are hard to talk about. So
I think
I don't know, man.
I think of the one skit when they were doing the it was like the race
The draft.
the draft.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the racial
and
draft.
the Latinos were like, we of the Latinos claim Elian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, who? they're like, who? And that was a crucial part of America at that point about that kid who came over here.
Yeah.
And who gets to claim him? The Americans or the Puerto Ricans?
And the
Like,
African Americans picked up Tiger Woods. Yeah. And that's what he said, goodbye fried rice, hello fried chicken. Dude, it's
For shizzle.
he has to come back. Yeah.
yeah.
It's the race draft, I think it is. That skit. It's phenomenal. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, we are lucky enough to be in a country where we can talk about these things.
Yeah.
And people are taking it way too far when they want to cancel someone and try to be like, hey, listen. So what I was trying to say with this whole Netflix thing and this whole Dave Chappelle ordeal is that Netflix sided with Dave Chappelle. They said no. They took a stand against people. And the people who were offended quit their job. They left.
Yep.
Right? It's a private organization. It's a private company. And guess what? At the end of the day, it's capitalism.
Here's my thing.
They're going to get rid of their top comedian because a small community is offended? Okay. Okay. Right? Okay.
Here's my thing. Right?
Right? Okay. Do we understand this? All right.
Here's my thing. Throughout the years, right, there has been predominantly black films, predominantly white films. There has been Hispanic films, Asian films, Muslim films, you name it, right? There's not that many gay films out there.
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain and Two Flew from Wong Fu.
Tu Wong Fu's
Tu Wong
trans.
Fu.
I love that
That's
movie,
trans.
actually.
That movie's hilarious.
I think,
love it.
yeah.
But my thing is,
Oh, the birdcage.
right. And the black community has really stepped up in film, right? They've come out with a lot of great movies.
Black Panther.
Black Panther, a lot of woke movies like, explaining their life and their struggle to get the rest of the world on board and on page with what's happening, right? Why hasn't the trans community come out with these films? Where's their major trans films in media, film media, that will open the world's eyes?
Well, they had that one trans character in Euphoria.
Oh yeah, you have Euphoria.
Right.
And
There's
stuff.
been TV shows. There was that girl Jazz. I think it was on like VH1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's-
you also too have what you call it, the new Gossip Girl. There's a trans.
Yeah.
And listen, have them exist among everybody.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be like, well, we have this character who's this.
Right.
they're trying to force people into
Right.
thinking a certain way and try to persuade young kids or young adults into making a decision that they're probably not gonna be in favor of in the future. So I'm not saying, hey, listen, I totally honestly believe that's a great movie.
Remember that movie?
Yeah, Tu Wong Fu. I believe that there are young kids who feel a certain way, that they don't feel like they're not in their own body, that they might be gay, bisexual, might have these different feelings, they're trans or whatever. So I understand that their psychology when they're a kid, that they feel like they're not in sync with their counterparts, the kids that they're growing up with. So I believe that. I really do. But you can't force them to think a certain way when they're growing up, because you're going to confuse them.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And especially like there's a lot of articles that came out especially with young trans kids, that parents are getting these surgeries for these kids, and then they get older and they're like, oh, this is not what I want.
Right.
So now if you're post-op and you already got these surgeries,
how do you make a decision
right.
under the age of 18 or 21 what to do with your body, and how's it going to affect you for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
You haven't lived your life yet. Like you haven't gotten to adulthood to understand what's going to happen yet. So I totally agree.
We have to put an age on when it's acceptable for these kids to do these certain things, so that they know. It's the same way you go into a store to buy a pack of cigarettes. You have to be a certain age.
Right.
Yep.
To get these surgeries done, you have to be a certain age to be like, are you sure
right.
that you want to do this, because you cannot reverse it?
Right.
You have to be a certain age to drink.
Exactly.
It's like a tattoo. This is for the rest of your life. This is stuck on your body. You cannot. Yeah. Eventually, there's laser removal, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's
you
not
can't
perfect.
reverse it, and it's not. You can't.
Right. This is permanent.
Yeah. So we have to really start considering these type of conversations.
Yeah.
Because you can literally, their decisions, you can really not ruin someone's life. Because the thing is that, hey, listen, everybody's different, bro. I really believe, hey, listen, I'm all for happiness at the end of the day. I want people to be happy. So whatever floats their boat, whatever makes them happy, do what you got to do. But to cancel someone else because he has a different opinion of you, or because he's making fun of you or making jokes, that's where I draw the fucking line. Yeah. That's not going to happen with me, right? So I didn't want to go into this Dave Chappelle. But right?
It's what's prevalent in today's media. But you know what? What I really want to double back to, we were talking about how they're using this, like DC's using this as a bandwagon or a crutch. It's funny how the media first was bandwagoning on Black Lives Matter, right? Remember, people were canceling stores like Lush. They had a sign right in the front that said Black Lives Matter. Chase Bank, Black Lives Matter, right? It's funny how they were canceling them and banning them for Black Lives Matter stuff. Now, this is going to be the new one, right? The media and everybody was bandwagoning on Black Lives Matter. Now they're going to bandwagon on this trans gay thing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It's
and
really funny.
Like Dave Chappelle said, like, yo, the black community has been dealing with like racism for so many years, and then now this group comes up to the forefront, and they're making so much more progress than the black community.
And why is that?
But why? Why?
No, it's
true.
It's a valid
It's
point.
true.
Yeah.
Like, till this day, like, the black community is still dealing with so much shit going on and whatnot. It's not
but it's okay for the baby to kill someone in Walmart. And you don't cancel him for that.
It's crazy.
But you cancel him because he made homophobic statements. Do you understand that?
He killed a man.
He killed a man in Walmart.
Wild.
Killed a man. Killed someone. But you cancel him because of what he said. Think about that too. Those two. Words, murder. You cancel him for words, but you completely let him go for murder. Something wrong there.
Yeah.
Something wrong.
It's weird because they'll probably let him go for that because, oh, cool, like some story behind him or whatever. They'll sell records, this and that. But then when he goes on stage and says some shit like that, like the record label's going to be like, no, we can't have him say that. We're going to lose record sales, this and that. It's all about money.
It's all about money. And that's why Netflix was like, You want us to get rid of our top comedian because the community's hurt. We're going to choose the side of capitalism. It's not funny. But at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to money.
That's the sad
It comes
truth.
down to money.
Yeah.
And that's when reality hits. Like, oh, Netflix is transphobic. No, because I like money. So we're not doing this. And they took his side. But it's an important conversation because right now, the way things are going in this country, everybody has a lot of disdain for this country. And we, like I said, we are fortunate to talk about these things because in certain parts of the country, these people get murdered. They get killed for voicing their opinions if it's opposite of another. And we need to really grow the fuck up and start having conversations like adults and not play this, oh, well, he said mean things. Okay, walk away. You not agree with it, but you can't cancel someone, right? You can't, because what's that going to do?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't get it. Don't get it.
I don't know, man. This is America. That's all I can say to people. This is America.
It's crazy.
You know?
I don't know, man. What was it? This dude over here.
Oh, God.
A little buddy Fauci.
Uh-oh. In today's
He has a
News of the
Disney.
Week.
Can we play that real quick?
Are you
The
talking
trailer?
about the National Geographic?
The documentary?
I saw that pop up on my Disney Plus. I was like, no.
Look at this trailer. I don't know if you guys watched it. I didn't watch it.
No.
I didn't watch it fully, but
Gotta get your Fauci ouchie. Gotta get it.
so Dr. Fauci has a little documentary that's coming out on National Geographic on Disney as well, right?
Yeah, it's already on Disney Plus.
Okay, so this is already on Disney.
Oh, Disney.
So let's watch.
It's already on Disney Plus,
Come
bro.
on, Disney.
It's already on there.
Talking about the Fauci
I
ouchie.
saw it the other day, and I was like, oh, no. I was like, oh, no.
This is on Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is this on Disney?
God help us.
Oh, because it's National Geographic. That's
Yeah.
Certainly think about that seriousness and wanting to do the right thing. At the same time, very few people get to see.
And I know people from
youth,
Fox must be,
funny,
like,
weird,
shambles.
and really
Livid.
playful.
Because Fox used to own National Geographic.
Because then you'll start thinking that you're something that you're not. I loved clinical medicine. The idea of discovery and having an impact on people. That's what really captured me. I grew up in a somewhat tough neighborhood in Brooklyn. The culture is that you didn't get intimidated by a lot of things. When someone attacks, I don't immediately fight back. It's nothing personal, it's strictly business. In 1981, the HIV/AIDS was evolving rapidly and frighteningly. There was anger.
This is on Disney Plus.
We accused Tony of causing those deaths.
Finally, I put myself into their shoes. That's when I started to really reach out.
It was pretty much the first and only time I think anybody in government came to us.
That changed everything.
When you got sick, you were gone fast.
It was so frustrating when you're used to fixing things and you're just not really fixing anything.
It's affecting you now.
Yeah.
Why?
Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
When COVID hit, he became this target.
My dad said, we're going to get through this whole thing. And he's held that.
We're seeing upticks again, and nobody's hearing from you.
I don't understand the hate that people have.
These people are really, really getting bad. I mean, you know, they're harassing my daughters constantly, which bothers me more than anything else.
We heard about what he went through in the HIV/AIDS pandemic, like seeing signs, Fauci's a murderer. And I remember asking him, like, is this actually what it was like? His response was, you can't even compare the two. This is so beyond the beyond.
Fauci says, here are the facts, and here's my recommendation for a way forward.
He becomes the size of the challenge he faces each time.
If you're a public servant, you don't do
Bono.
Yeah.
You don't do it for the glory.
Because, of course, they have to have a celebrity in there.
When you're involved in a race to stop a horrible disease, you always feel you're not doing things quickly enough.
I almost shed a tear, but I didn't. But listen.
Wait, so first off, this is going on Disney Plus.
This is already on Disney.
This is already on Disney
Yeah,
Plus,
this is already out.
where children can watch this.
Yeah. Yep. I have no ill intentions of Fauci at all. I don't hate him. I feel like he has a very tough job.
Yeah.
He has a.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to be right. He's in one of those positions where any little thing he's going to be wrong for, right? Mm-hmm. But when you make this statement like he did in that video that we covered 2 episodes ago about there comes a point in time where people have to give up their individual rights and they can't make their own decisions, that's where I'm like, all right, bro. All right. All right. This is your job is to make. Oh, this is perfect, bro. Your job is to help people and literally feed information. And his track record of flip-flopping through the whole process is why people don't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So
during the whole pandemic,
like
changing all the different things.
Mask pointless.
You don't need a mask. Oh no!
Oh, we believe we now need mask mandates.
Now you need 2 masks to wear.
You don't need a face shield. Now you need a face shield. No, maybe you need goggles.
Have you watched this full episode?
Goggles.
No, I have not watched that. I need to sit down and watch it.
You have to sit down and dedicate. It's a long one. It's like 3 hours. So we're talking about this episode of Joe Rogan and Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who is the CNN correspondent. He's the medical chief person for CNN. He's the medical correspondent for CNN. Yeah. He's the guy who talks about the medical stuff on CNN. He was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan literally was on the offensive the whole episode. He was on the offensive about certain things. And I don't know if you know about this, but on CNN, they attacked Joe Rogan saying that he took horse dewormer. Oh, man, I was about to say the drug name, and we would have been taken down. Honestly, if we say this name, the drug that can't be named.
The Voldemort?
The Voldemort drug that we're talking about. The Voldemort drug. If we say it, this episode is like Thanos. Gone.
We go poof.
So he took that specific drug.
Right.
And CNN attacked him and said, hey, listen, he's taking horse dewormer. They were saying he was taking horse dewormer. An actual drug that's given to billions of people. And he attacked him on it. I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is the clip. But this is also from CNN, bro.
Yeah.
This is so we're going to see something that's probably not there from...
I don't know what they're going to talk about on this, but...
Oh, man.
New tonight, CNN's chief medical...
Don't play this. Go on YouTube. I can't watch anything CNN. Fox. I'm seriously, bro. I can't do it because they're so biased, bro. Yeah. I can't watch it. I go on YouTube and just, talk... maybe that one. Joe Rogan exposes Sanjay Gupta and CNN's propaganda. There you go.
So for you, Joe Rogan,
yes,
I would say you've had it.
Yes.
So now get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated. Right?
Yes.
Don't I?
I think your immunity is really good.
So why, if I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative, and I do have the natural antibodies now, why would I take a chance in getting vaccinated on top of that?
By the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. And we should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, you are not a horse, you are not a cow, stop taking this stuff, or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it making the
Nobel Prize
in 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude,
I mean, what did they say?
They lied
What did
and
they
said
say?
I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
they
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch
horse.
of other
if
medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication.
Here's response. Now pause that real quick. I sent you a link on your phone. I don't know if you could be able to pull it up on the laptop. Yep. This is the next day after that episode aired. This is, I believe, yesterday.
Say something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying, okay? Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer. I think that's important, and it is not approved for COVID. Correct?
That's right. That's correct. It is not approved for COVID, and you're right. I mean, the FDA even put out a statement saying, basically reminding people, it was a strange sort of message from the FDA, but that said, you're not a horse, you're not a cow, stop taking this stuff, is essentially what they said, referring to ivermectin. Now, I think what Joe's point
that
is...
It has been approved for humans, but not necessarily for COVID, right? Yeah.
That's correct. It's been used for a parasitic disease, for something it's called river blindness, and it's been very effective for that. But just because it works for one thing doesn't mean it works for something else. Right. And there's still a few ongoing clinical trials around ivermectin, but for the most part, if you look at the data, there's no evidence that it really works here. When Joe got sick, he took ivermectin. He also took monoclonal antibodies, which is, an infusion of these antibodies. So he took both those things. It's very likely it was the monoclonal antibodies that made him feel better. So
false. I'm gonna point a big false on that in a minute.
Good. Yeah.
So this whole antibody thing, right? Let me explain to y'all my experience on this, right? So I was vaccinated the first time, right? Then, because I have high risk health issues on that list of health issues, right? So I took the first vaccine, right? 5 days later, I did get COVID, full blown COVID, right? Got the tests, got both PCR and rapid, right? I got full blown COVID, right? Now that I had full blown COVID after I got the first shot, called the doctor, right? And the doctor was like, "Oh snap, you got it?" Like she was confused. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "And I just got the first shot like 5 days ago." She's like, "Wow, that's remarkable." She goes, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go send you to go get these antibodies since you have high risk issues and you got COVID right now." I said, "Okay, so what do I got to do?" So she sent me to a hospital. She said, "You got to let the hospital know that you have COVID." I said, "Okay." So I walked right through the front door like it was Starbucks. I just walked right through the front door full of people, mask on, like nothing ever happened. And I stood my distance back from the desk and I just had a piece of paper and I showed the girl and I said, "I got to get this done." And she goes, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, under my breath, I was like, "I have COVID." And she just goes, "Okay, just have a seat over there." Now I'm in a hospital full of people in a waiting room and I'm sitting there with COVID surrounded by people. We're all with our masks on, right? But I have COVID. It gets better. 3 more people walk in after me. Same thing. The only way you're allowed to get those antibodies is if you have COVID. You have to get it when you have COVID. You can't just get it before or after. It has to be during the time that you're positive, right? So now the 5 of us, they didn't tell us social distance. They didn't tell me go wait outside. Dude, I'm waiting 3 to 4 hours for a room and I'm pissed. So I just walk up to the lady. I said, "Listen, I can't sit here all day. Like, what's taking so?" "Well, we have to get a clean room for you. It has to be sterile, blah, blah, blah." I said, "I'm a diabetic. I'm going to go get some food." So I went to get some food, came back. Finally, they had a room for me and some other guy next to me. And he goes, oh, looks like we're going to be buddies. And I was like, yeah, man. Meanwhile, I'm looking at him like, you old, man. You about to die.
Wow.
Like, so we both go into rooms across from each other and we're talking to across each other from the hallway. And, you know, he was telling me his whole life story and we're talking. Doc comes in. They start the transfusion thing on him. Then they come to me. And Doc is looking at my paperwork and they're just like, why do you need the transfusion? I don't know. You tell me. Why are you here? You tell me. You're the doctor. How'd you get COVID? I don't know. I'm like, what do you?
These are the questions I have to ask you.
Yeah, like, what'd you think? I licked some doorknobs in New York City, or I licked the handrail going down to the subway station, and that's how I got it? Like, I have no idea, dude. Like, and he's like, oh, and he goes, but you got your first shot, and I was like, yeah, and he goes, yeah, we just checked with the chief medical examiner. You don't need the transfusion. What? He goes, yeah, actually, we shouldn't even give it to you since you already got the first shot. What? I waited 3 hours here in a waiting room with sick people that I probably could have gotten sick. And you're telling me now I don't need to be here? Yeah, no. If you get the first shot, that overrides the antibodies. He goes, you're not dying, are you? I'm like, am I in cuckoo land? Like, what's going on here? I'm like, am I dying? He goes, yeah, like, how severe are your symptoms? I was like, I can't taste things. Like, you know, I got a runny nose and that's it. And he goes, oh, so the first shot must be working very well for you. I'm like, can I get my antibodies, please? And he's like, no. Wow. He goes, we don't give it to people who had their shot already. This is for people who are unprotected. I was like, so it's like a freaking condom? Like, I got, like, if I went in raw, you'll give it to me, but if I didn't go in raw, you wouldn't give it to me? Like, what the hell? So I wasted 3 hours of my life, never got it. Then I went and got my second shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy, dude.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think they know what's going on.
Nobody
knows what's going
this
on.
whole situation, nobody knows what's going on.
No one knows.
Nobody.
No one knows.
Everything is trial and error, and you know, it's like a chemistry shit. Like, oh, let's try this, a little bit of this. It's like making the Powerpuff Girls, like a little bit of spice, a little bit of love, everything nice.
It was the same thing when I had COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
They wasn't it always suggested to go get tested again to make sure you were like negative or whatever?
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff like that. So I went and got the rapid test again, and the lady was like, well, what are you doing here? She was like, you don't have to come in to get this test or whatever. But I'm like, well, I was suggested to come in to get the test to make sure I'm negative. And then she was basically trying to explain to me like, well, all these like doctors and medical like people and stuff like that are getting this all wrong.
Yeah.
They're like mixing this whole shit up. They're like, you don't have to come in here to get tested and whatnot.
That's what I was told too.
Yeah, they were like,
we had an outbreak at my job, and I went to go get tested to see if I was negative to go back into work to make sure I was good to go.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to keep spreading it. So they were like, oh, you did your 10-day quarantine. You don't have to come in to get tested.
I was just
what's
like,
the point?
I'm trying to do my part here to make sure I don't spread it like Christmas cheer. And
It's like Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part. Remember that scene?
And now, like, I don't understand. Like, we don't have to come in to get tested because, like, oh well, because the virus it's already stopped. Okay.
And then they were telling me, they were like, well, but if you're coming in here and doing this, you're jacking up the numbers for the county.
Oh yeah, that was the next.
I was like,
you stopped
what?
It. No, you serious?
Yeah, they were like,
they told me the same thing.
They told me the same thing. They were like, why you?
I tried to get a second test.
They were like, why are you in here? They were like, you're going to be jacking up the numbers for the county or whatever, something like that.
I had a place refuse me because they already had me on file as having it, and they said we can't test you again because you're going to jack up the numbers for the county, and they said that's why we won't test you again. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, but I want to make sure. And they're like, yeah, unfortunately, we can't test you a second time.
Jack up the number?
Jack up
That's
the
what
number.
they told me. In
What
the room.
number?
In the room.
What
The
number?
The COVID patient number.
Or the
Positive cases.
Yeah, the positive case number.
cases. They told me the same thing. I literally went to a different location in my county.
They told me that.
Because I was like, all right, I'm not going to go to the same place because they already told me no over the phone. They said, we're not doing the test again. You're already positive. I was like, well, that was a rapid. Let's try again on something else. So then I went to a different place. And then when they typed my name in, they're like, no. They're like, we can't test you again. I was like, why not? They go, because you already went positive. They said, once you go positive, that's it. I said, okay, but I would like a PCR now. Thank you. No, we can't test you again. You got to wait the 10 days.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand that because before that was the whole like schmeal. Like if you had it, you got tested, you wait 14 days, you go get tested again to make sure you're negative, and then they're over here saying
they said, excuse me, that you would jack up the number if you were negative. If you turn out negative, you would jack up the number.
No, just being there,
positive,
just being there and getting tested, you're jacking up numbers.
Yeah.
So it's all a number game.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I was just like, what? I was like, this makes no sense. I'm like, no one knows what the hell they're doing.
Nobody knows. And I'd rather have the garden gnome come out, Dr. Fauci, saying, we don't know what's going on, but bear with us. We're trying to figure out everything we can. What did you feel right about if he said that?
Yeah, I would
like,
go,
hey, listen,
right,
we don't know
cool,
what the fuck we're talking about, but we're going to try our best to figure out this thing.
Instead of spewing out
bullshit.
Lies and bullshit.
Mask mandate, politicize the whole fucking virus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
And then before they were like, oh, only the older people should be vaccinated because they're susceptible and people with health conditions and all that. And then they keep lowering the age number.
It's going down.
Going down.
Going down.
To the point now, like, kids now have to get it.
They're going to try for 6-year-olds next.
Yep.
6 to 12.
And they'll get it.
Yep.
They'll make it happen.
Little Billy.
What about little baby infants? Is there going to be like a shot that the parents not know that they're going to be giving the baby in the
What about a fetus?
I don't know.
You know, like, it's how far will they go? If you give them AR, they'll take the whole fucking.
But what about if you already had COVID and you have a kid or whatever? That kid already has the antibodies in his system now and the genetics already. If you think about it.
You're talking science, and we don't talk science.
Because it makes
no,
it makes no sense.
Biology, bro.
So wait, now
no.
Does that kid have to get vaccinated?
You're thinking way too smart.
You're thinking way too much, bro.
You're way too smart, bro. They're about to.
It's crazy.
They're about to. They're about to Nipsey hustle you. Be quiet.
You're so wrong. You don't even know you're wrong.
Quiet.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Shh, you're gonna end up like Dr. Sebi. Be quiet.
Oh,
don't do it. Don't think.
They already got me once.
We don't. They got him once the other day. We don't want you to think.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I can't.
All right. Well, this is a good episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Last Slice Podcast. You got Jimbo the Kid, Trill Boy, Bodega Cat. Woo. You can follow us on Instagram at the Last Slice Podcast. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
And also don't forget to check us out on 990 WBOB.
Yes, sir. That episode is up, so go check that episode. It's the 990 live show by the Last Slice Podcast. Signing out.
Later, guys.
Peace.